Okay, everyone. So I'm going to read again Lenin's Left-Wing Communism and Infantile Disorder. This is the chapter, An Essential Condition of the Bolsheviks' Success. Okay, let's see. This is going to be kind of shorter. I'm going to rev up another cup of coffee here. Okay, let me get back to this. It is, I think, almost universally realized at present that the Bolsheviks could not have retained power for 2.5 months, let alone 2.5 years, without the most rigorous and truly iron discipline in our party, or without the fullest and unreserved support from the entire mass of the working class. That is, from all thinking, honest, devoted, and influential elements in it, capable of leading the backward strata or carrying the ladder along with them. The dictatorship of the proletariat means a most determined and most ruthless war waged by the new class against a more powerful enemy, the bourgeoisie, whose resistance is increased tenfold by their overthrow. Even if only one in a single country, and those whose power lies not only in the strength of international capital, the strength and durability of their international connections, but also in the force of habit. Until the strength of small-scale production. Unfortunately, small-scale production is still widespread in the world, and small-scale production engenders capitalism and the bourgeoisie continuously, daily, hours, spontaneously, and on a mass scale. All these reasons make the dictatorship of the proletariat necessary, and victory over the bourgeoisie is impossible without a long, stubborn, desperate life and death struggle, which calls for tenacity, discipline, and a single and inflexible will. I repeat, the experience of the victorious dictatorship of the proletariat in Russia has clearly shown, even to those who are incapable of thinking or have had no occasion to give thought to the matter, that absolute centralization and the rigorous discipline of the proletariat are an essential condition of victory over the bourgeoisie. Okay. Let's see. This is often dwelt on. However, not nearly enough thought is given to what it means, and under what conditions it is possible. Would it not be better if the salutations addressed to the Soviets and the Bolsheviks were more frequently accompanied by a profound analysis of the reasons why the Bolsheviks have been able to build up the discipline needed by the revolutionary proletariat? As a current of political thought and as a political party, Bolshevism has existed since 1903. Only the history of Bolshevism during the entire period of its existence can satisfactorily explain why it has been able to build up and maintain under most difficult conditions the iron discipline needed for the victory of the proletariat. The first questions to arise are, how is the discipline of the proletariat's revolutionary party maintained? How is it tested? How is it reinforced? First, by the class consciousness of the proletarian vanguard and by its devotion to the revolution, by its tenacity, self-sacrifice, and heroism. Second, by its ability to link up, maintain the closest contact, and if you wish, merge in certain measure with the broadcast masses of the working people, primarily with the proletariat, but also with the non-proletarian masses of working people. Third, by the correctness of the political leadership exercised by this vanguard, by the correctness of its political strategy and tactics, provided the broad masses have seen from their own experience that they are correct. Without these conditions, discipline in a revolutionary party really capable of being the party of the advanced class, whose mission it is to overthrow the bourgeoisie and transform the whole of society, cannot be achieved. Without these conditions, all attempts to establish discipline inevitably fall flat and end up in phrasemongering and clowning. On the other hand, these conditions cannot emerge at once. They are created only by prolonged effort and hard-won experience. Their creation is facilitated by a correct revolutionary theory, which in its turn is not a dogma, but assumes final shape only in close connection with the practical activity of a truly mass and truly revolutionary movement. The fact that in 1917 through 20, Bolshevism was able, under unprecedentedly difficult conditions, to build up and successfully maintain the strictest centralization and iron discipline, was due simply to a number of historical peculiarities of Russia. On the one hand, Bolshevism arose in 1903 on a very firm foundation of Marxist theory. The correctness of this revolutionary theory and of it alone has been proved not only by world experience throughout the 19th century, but especially by the experience of the seekings and vacillations, the errors and disappointments of revolutionary thought in Russia. For about half a century, and approximately from the 40s to the 90s of the last century, progressive thought in Russia, oppressed by a most brutal and reactionary Tsarism, sought eagerly for a correct revolutionary theory, and followed with the utmost diligence and thoroughness each and every last word in this sphere in Europe and America. Russia achieved Marxism, the only correct revolutionary theory, through the agony she experienced in the course of half a century of unparalleled torment and sacrifice, of unparalleled revolutionary heroism, incredible energy, devoted, searching, study, practical trial, disappointment, verification, and comparison with European experience. Thanks to the political immigration caused by the Tsarism, revolutionary Russia, in the second half of the 19th century, acquired a wealth of international links and excellent information on the forms and theories of the world revolutionary movement, such as no other country possessed. On the other hand, Bolshevism, which had arisen on this granite foundation of theory, went through 15 years of practical history, 1903 to 17, unequaled anywhere in the world in its wealth of experience. During those 15 years, no other country knew anything even approximating to that revolutionary experience, that rapid and varied succession of different forms of the movement, legal and illegal, peaceful and stormy, underground and open, local circles and mass movements, and parliamentary and terrorist forms. In no other country has there been concentrated in so brief a period such a wealth of forms, shades, and methods of struggle of all classes of modern society, a struggle which, owing to the backwardness of the country and the severity of the Tsarist yoke, matured with exceptional rapidity and assimilated most eagerly and successfully the appropriate last word of American and European political experience. All right, well, that was great. This is, that was an essential condition of the Bolshevik success. Basically, the things that made it unique, that made the Bolshevik, is what I kind of got from that. Thought it was interesting talking about how the Tsardom rule, driving so many Russians out of Russia, had created a connection, to new parts of cultures, the new revolutionary thought. It made Russians stronger because they stayed by their family, right, who would go to a different country and would bring something back, or would telegram it, or they would communicate it any sort of way possible. It opened up new doors for them. So I thought that was interesting. I thought that's extremely interesting with how much the United States displaces people. That's the, not saying that's the same conditions. It just made me think of that. It made me think of how much the United States displaces people and how migrants, speak to their families back home. Okay, well, yeah, this is it. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Tumblr, Medium. Go follow me, Marxist Saw. Thank y'all. Y'all have a great day. Dodala Goi.